Hey guys, welcome again. So in this video I'm going to be talking about where to get started and what kind of things you'll want to get, need to get. There's really no set rules with this, so I'm just going to dive in like I did with my last one. So the first thing you'll want to get, or depending on the kind of person you are, first thing I got was a Book of Shadows. This is not an official Book of Shadows, it's just a journal that I picked up at my local Barnes & Noble. Free advertising, Barnes & Noble, woo! But pretty much in one of these bad boys you just write whatever's going on. I've actually had like 6 books, BOSs, since I started. BOS is a abbreviation for Book of Shadows, and pretty much you just write down all your little magical workings, if that's what you're doing, or how you're feeling. It's pretty much like a diary. At least that's how I've looked at it. I'm not really in this religion for the spells, and granted I do use them. Someone very dear to me has been very stressed lately, and if you can't tell, I look exhausted. I feel exhausted. I've been up every night for the past 2 weeks doing various spells to help this very dear person to stop being as stressed as he is. But yeah, so I've been writing about that in here and how tired I am. So, Book of Shadows. I talked about this book a little bit last time. This kind of outlines what Wicca is, but, you know, as I've stated before, it's whatever you bring to it. I read out the definition last time, the dictionary definition, not necessarily the Wicca for beginners well, I guess it is her definition. Whatever it is that you feel defines Wicca is what Wicca is to you. For me, it's more the religion and the nature than it is with the spells and the ritual work. Granted, yes, I do celebrate the holidays. Beltane is actually coming up. Woo! I'm actually thinking about having a camp out that day, so that'd be fun. Have a bonfire. Welcome spring. I guess it's already here. Thank God it's warmer out. Yes! Actually, speaking of the holidays, this is also a very good book. It's called The Wiccan Year by Judy Ann Knock. This pretty much tells you what all the holidays are from Samhain to Beltane, so get on it. This is actually really good. Let's see here. God, I own this book and I don't know it very well. Tells you what the holiday's about. For example, I'm just on the Samhain page. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, there we go. Everything's backward on my webcam. Woo! So, Samhain, the Wiccan New Year, aka Halloween, tells you where it came from, the celestial events, like what constellations are going to be in your favor for this cycle, where to meditate, how to meditate, a ritual. This one is actually, you make yourself a little chain bracelet, not actual chain, it's out of red yarn, and then you chain together little loopies of yarn, and you take a thame or a dull pair of scissors, depending on what you can get your hands on. It depends on what your parents let you do too. If you're, you know, under the age of 18 and living in your parents' home where you're at their mercy, pretty much. Not that it's a bad thing to live with your parents. I live with my mom right now because I'm an unstable child. Not unstable financially. Anyway, each little loop of red yarn represents something difficult that you have overcome in the past year. And with your dull pair of scissors, dull knife, your thame, whatever, you cut through those pieces of yarn. And if you've ever cut anything with dull scissors, you'll know how difficult that is. Also, the astrological influences, etc., etc., blah, 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 blah. I could go on about this forever. I love this book. But I won't, because I have a time frame here. I have to be done with this before I have to leave later. That's why I look better than I usually do. Next book. Depending on if you want to get into animal signs and totems and that sort of thing. Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. This is really good. It tells you what all of the different animals mean. I believe I actually marked the page that tells you what a cat means. And I feel the need to read some of that, I guess. Someone likes to have their bass cranked up. Yeah, cat. Meow. I'm gonna try and get her in on the shot here. Come here. Look! This is my other kitty. I don't know if you remember my other one, but his name is Magic, and this is Georgia. She's shy. Okay, so Animal Speak, Ted Andrews. I realize that I'm giving them all free advertising. That's okay, because these people deserve it. They wrote good books. Okay. Next thing. Again, depending on what defines Wicca for you. For me, I do a lot of the divination kind of thing. Mostly, when I first started to do it, it was kind of to spite the people I went to school with, because they were like, oh, can you see the future? So I bought a very basic tarot deck, and I didn't even really feel a connection to it. I just brought it to school with me to mess with their minds. Don't do that. Part of this whole Wicca thing, or pagan thing, harm none, don't be a jerk. There's magic. But I bought a set of runes. This was after high school, so don't judge me. Here he is. This little guy. He's my favorite, because he represents stability, and that's something I need. Say hi, Magic. This is another one of my favorites. This one is actually Fehu, and she, or he, depending on what genders you assign to which stones. Money. She brings money. Also something I need. But yeah, bunch of little runes. I described a bunch of them. Recently, though, I did actually buy a tarot deck that I connected to on a very personal level. I've always had a weird little thing with fairies. When I was little, my grandma had an enormous garden, and I would spend hours back there chasing butterflies and dragonflies, insisting that they were fairies. And I do believe that there are actual fairies in the world. And so I bought this deck to symbolize my connection with them. Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud, or Froud, I don't know. It was like $20-some, but how do you put a price on something this epic? I also want to show you my favorite, my little friend, the Green Woman. She's like a green man, only a woman. I'm doing a lot better today, seemingly. Yay! The last thing, we were in Colorado last summer for vacation. And while I was there, there was this really cool little metaphysical Tibetan shop. And we drove past it 4 or 5 times while we were there. Before we left, I'm like, Mom, I don't care if we make it to Idaho when we need to be there. I'm going into this store and I'm getting something. And the man who worked there, he actually knew my grandfather. My grandfather had been there while he was on a truck driving expedition, I guess you would call it. And he got really close to this guy, got to be really good friends with him. And the guy that worked there actually gave me this. It's a Tibetan wish bowl. This one actually represents prosperity and love. I love that about it. And this is how you play with it. Pardon the fuzzy that just drifted across. No manners. But it just works like this. It sings. And I love it. Because it came from someone my grandpa knew. What else? Honestly, if you want to make it public that you believe a certain way, you can pick one of these up. I got this at Spencer's, actually. There's tons of websites. 13moons.com is really good. If you're lucky enough to have a Wiccan, pagan, witchy kind of store within 20 to 25 minutes of you, I envy you. Because it's a 30-minute drive to the nearest store like that for me. So, yeah. Thanks, universe, for making me live in the Bible Belt. Nah, I'm actually pretty happy since it's getting warmer and I've got more vitamin D in my system. Vitamin D is good, everybody. Makes you happy. Happiness is also good. So yeah. If you are interested in more of this kind of thing, comment, subscribe, video response. I was kind of pushing this in my last video too. Don't know what I'll go over next time, simply because I'm mostly winging this. I actually came up with this idea 10 minutes ago. Well, I guess looking at my timer, 13 minutes ago, to be exact. 13, lucky number. That's my lucky number, guys. Also, question for y'all. What kinds of things are you into? Why Wicca? Why paganism? Why do you believe that this... Well, honestly, my belief is that all of the religious paths, Christianity, Hindu, Buddhism, name anything, and it leads to the same place. So, what do you believe? How do you feel about, if you live here in the US of A, what do you think of the way our government is? What do you think of what's going on in the Supreme Court as of 3/29/2013 with the whole same-sex marriage equality debate? What kind of things do you guys like to do? I'm just trying to start a discussion here. So, respond it up. And, love and light, y'all. Say bye, magic. Woo!